For the past 2 years of playing and collecting Yugi-Oh again, I'm delighted to see so many old monsters that I used to play and love getting new supports. Some expand their lore through card artworks, while others enable the archetype playable as their own deck. Some become a powerhouse in the meta, while others sort of gain a lukewarm improvement. Nevertheless, it's always inviting, especially to old and returning players, to see the old archetypes reintroduced into the game. But if there's a monster type I'm always happy to see support, it will be dragons. And there are a lot of dragons in the past that needed modern day support. Welcome to the Dragon Shrine, I'm Rookie Haru, and in today's video, I'll be discussing on dragons in Yugi-Oh. I hope to receive their own support in the future. Before we begin, I need to make myself clear on what I meant by monster receiving support. My requirement for the supports are simple. First, the supports are ample enough for the monster to build a deck of its own. And second, the support bring interesting addition to the monster lore or background story. The supports doesn't necessarily need to turn the monster into a meta deck as long as it can function and have fun mechanic. The first dragon I wish to receive more support is the FiveHeaded Dragon. Yes, that's right, the fusion boss monster that boosts huge damage itself, the FiveHeaded Dragon. I know that this card have received an alternate art recently and also a link variant, but that is hardly enough to make this monster playable as its own deck. Let's talk a bit more about the FiveHeaded Dragon. If you observe the head of this dragon, it consists of 4 old lesser dragons and an unknown head, probably the prime or original head of the dragon. The old lesser dragons are Serpent Knight Dragon, Dark Fire Dragon, Metal Dragon, and Aqua Dragon. These dragons are hardly playable in the past, let alone today's game, as fusion is the most costly summoning requirement in the game, and summoning the weak fusion monster alongside another 2 dragons just to summon FiveHeaded Dragon is a waste of resources, if not impossible. Usually, the old play will be to draw enough cards to meet the fusion requirement and use polymerizations to summon the dragon, or to dump enough dragon into the graveyard and summon it using Dragon's Mirror. Both of these methods bypass the requirement to summon the weaker fusion dragons, but even this costs a lot. Now let's talk about potential support to make FiveHeaded Dragons a deck of its own. For the 5 original dragons that form the head, instead of making them fusion monster, Konami could instead reintroduce them as a lower level dragons of the main deck, with the different elements representing their designs and effect. Yes, I'm suggesting a God Dragon 2.0, but instead with better playable effects. The center head should also be introduced as its own lesser dragons, providing some additional lore to the FiveHeaded Dragons. This dragon would then have their fusion counterpart, not the big 5-headed ones, but rather a smaller 2-headed or 3-headed dragons with effect depending on the material used to summon. The common road is to provide negation and destruction effects to the boss monster, but maybe we can change that so that the effect only applies on the attribute this monster are or fused from. Of course, when making a deck, every good archetype should have a decent spell and trap cards. For a fusion based deck, the most important card would have to be the archetype very own fusion spell. Konami could spice things up a bit by making the fusion spell a trap card instead, or even one of the main deck monster. Additionally, making another retrains of 5-headed dragons in a form of a new fusion monster or even exist monster that require 5 material dragon of course, with powerful effect could replace the old 5-headed dragon as the archetype new boss monsters. All the new extra deck monster must be carefully crafted as not to become overly powerful, as seen in Thunder Dragon Colossus and God Dragon Agapin. Interesting to note, in the wiki page for this dragon, it is said that the 5-headed dragon resembles Tiamat, and rival to that of Blue Eyes White Dragon that is said to mirror Bahamut. Now that would be interesting lore to explore, especially when Blue Eyes White Dragon lore itself is not fully explained. That's all for this video. If you like this to continue as a series, do leave a like and subscribe for more content in the future. Also, drop down a comment below on what other dragons or monster in Yu-Gi-Oh that deserve its own archetype support in the future. Thank you for watching. I see you guys in the next video.